So I haven't made a video in a while, but I'm going to start on this channel now doing kind of like weekly reviews or every couple of weeks of games that I've been finishing that I'm trying to play from my collection. So the most recent game that we have played is Mafia: The Old Country. And this game I just finished last night. Let me do a little bit of a deep dive into the review of this game and if I liked it and if I did not like it and what I recommend playing it. So Mafia: The Old Country, right? Basically, this is a prequel to all the Mafia games. The Mafia 1, 2, and 3, if you've never played them, there's the Mafia Definitive Edition, all the same crap, right? So Mafia: The Old Country takes place in Sicily during 1904, and basically the whole premise of the game is you play as Enzo, and Enzo is trying to basically have a better life. His father sells him off to the mines in Sicily, and in Sicily he's got to work his ass off, with the mines, try to pay off his debt of his father, yada yada, and then his brother, was a Gaetano, gets killed and stuff. I'm not really spoiling anything. I will honestly spoil it because at this point, if you didn't play the game, your problem. Play it again. But aside from that, though, basically that's what the premise of the game is, and this is where we're going to go a little bit deeper into the actual story and the whole premise of why I did not like it, and I did. So some good things about the game before I kind of bash the whole storyline. The knife play, there's a lot of knife battles in the game, so instead of your typical boss shootouts, there's knife battles in this, kind of like a Mafia style. This is a very linear game. There's 15 chapters in the game. It's not too crazy. You can finish this game probably under 12 hours if you actually play it straight through. There's a lot of emptiness to it, and the whole open world aspect of it is kind of not like your typical Mafia 3 if you ever played it, or Mafia 2 style. There's a little bit of it in it, but there's not much to do. There's some cars, and they kind of overlap some of the things from the original Mafia game. So if you play 1, 2, or 3, they kind of correlate some of the storyline to it, as well as the cars, the guns. Some of them transition over to the actual game itself. Some Vito stuff from the original second game, or any of the other games that you played. But that's pretty much the whole thing with that aspect of it, though. Some good things I liked about it as well. The horse riding is really good. It's a 2K series. Take-Two owns Hangar 13. So some of the things I felt kind of play style, or Grand Theft Auto play style when I was playing it, the shooting, the coverage, riding the horses and stuff. The story, I have to say though, considering for the gameplay aspect of it, was pretty good and spot on, and it was very different compared to Mafia 3 and the Mafia Definitive Edition. This one was kind of old school, shooter style, Western mixed with everything going on in it. What did get me annoyed about this game was that it really was kind of slow at some points. The story was good. I liked the story and the whole premise of it. But the problem I had was the ending. The ending really ruined the whole fucking game for me. And I'm going to tell you the ending right now. So basically what happens is Enzo falls in love with the Don's daughter, right? Of the mafia that he's a part of, right? But then pretty much everyone on this cover right here gets killed except his girl, Isabella, which he falls in love with and impregnates her. And what happens is Enzo's fighting off somebody, and then he fights off the Don, kills the Don, right? Blah, 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 right? Because Don's you can't, fall in love with my daughter, blah, 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 blah. And Enzo's dispatch you, and he kills the Don and gets away, and then basically the cousin kills Enzo and goes up to him and stabs him in his stomach and lets him die. Isabella you play as at the end of the game. It's a couple minutes, not long, and you have to kill one of the other people in charge and stuff, right? After you do that, that's when everything goes to shit, and then pretty much the whole family heirloom and vines and all this other crap burns alive, and then the whole plan with Enzo and Isabella was to take a boat from Sicily to Empire Bay, because Empire Bay obviously is correlated. If you never played the Mafia games 1, 2, and 3, they're all correlated in the same world, same premise and everything. So that's what happens and how they end the game basically, and they just see her on a boat going to Empire Bay and just seeing the whole outskirts of it. For the $50 that I paid for the game, it is worth it if you like linear single player games. You're not going to get much from it. You can probably do 100% of the game if you want, probably within 24 hours. It's not that complicated for everything. That's pretty straightforward in the game. I pretty much got all the trophies in the game except a couple. I'll go back to it eventually, probably just to complete it. To be I 100% the whole game. But it's not I thought the game was bad. I thought it was good. It's just the ending of the game was just really stupid. And they had so much potential maybe with Enzo's story and maybe doing another prequel from this. But I don't know what the plan for them is to do going onwards from this. As a prequel for a game, not bad. But I just felt there could have been so much more done with this game. And the whole aspect of maybe, I don't know, including different parts of Italy in it. Aside from Sicily. But I felt they just really went with this game to make it as an art piece. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of gameplay in the game. a lot of shooting. Some of it's redundant, but what else is new? Like, what do you expect from a game like this? Especially if you played the other threes, though, like 4 games. I mean, excuse me, other 3 games of the series, the same shit. So as we continue back about that discussion about Mafia, the whole country, let me tell you something. If you guys are gonna go and visit whatever country, maybe Sicily, from friends of mine, I haven't visited it yet, but let me tell you something. What Rockstar and 2K or whoever runs it is doing, I think they're doing a pretty good job, per se. And you know what else is kind of annoying with the whole new Mafia like prequel is that really bothers me is that it feels like now what they're trying to do is like they're making all these connections and things are going to make sense, but they may not make any sense at all, right? And you know that kind of reminds me of, and it's a hot take, but kind of like Assassin's Creed, how they made like 15 fucking different games, and then guess what? You go into the series and it doesn't make any fucking sense and it gets in a loophole and you get confused about everything. You're probably like, oh, this is not the same like Mafia and this and that. I feel it kind of is if you look at it because you make a prequel and you have 3 other games, right? But now I think the plan they're trying to go with this whole series is that they're going to be making a bunch of prequels prior to like the first 3 games because I feel like they don't want to even touch anything after what happened with the 3rd game and how the reception of it was pretty bad. But like I said, the game was good. It's just the ending was atrocious, and I hated how they ended the game. Especially if you kill off the main character that quickly. It's just like, what do you expect people to be like? Oh, it's fine. It's not a big deal. No, I don't agree with that at all. I think it's kind of bullshit that, especially if you're paying, just saying like whatever the price of the game is, like $50 or something like that. You pay it, linear story, right? But then there's nothing really to do afterwards because it's like kind of like farmlands and stuff like that within Sicily. And don't get me wrong, give them credit for like the whole linear process of like how the game was. But at least with Mafia 3, when you played it, it was very linear with the storyline and what was going on. But you had a bunch of activities to do and things to actually try after you finish the game, especially for people who want to do like completionists, like myself, depending on what the game is. I'm not going to be doing that for Mafia the whole country. But I do suggest, though, if you get a chance to play this game or have the chance to get through it and play it one time, it's worth the time and effort to play. But I feel they should not be going this route with how they should be telling their stories, especially what 2K is doing with their whole like thing with GTA 6. But we all know that's going to be a totally different ballgame. But I think Hangar 13 has a lot of potential with the games that are coming out, but we will see what they do in the next few months.